I'm online. Hello, guys. Hopefully, you guys can hear me because I remember we had the last problem. Well, in my first live, that you guys couldn't hear me. So, hopefully, you guys can hear me. I am going to light some sage, as you guys already know. So, if you're new to my live, I like to light sage before I even begin. So, I'm going to light some sage. If you do see some smoke, do not be alarmed. It's just sage. Okay, so this particular topic was actually requested by someone on Facebook. If I could find her name real quickly so I can shout her out. But she kind of told me that she wanted me to talk about this topic because she had actually watched other videos on YouTube regarding this topic, but she actually wanted to hear what I had to say, which I am grateful for because I guess people want to hear what I have to say, and yeah, that kind of just shocked me a little bit. I guess these lives are actually helping people, and I'm grateful that these lives are helping people because these are topics that I have within myself. So I'm kind of happy that I can have them with people here online. Her name is Carrie Jamerson. So shouts out to her because she is the one that kind of wanted me to go deep within this topic. So hopefully you guys are not having a problem seeing me because okay, YouTube be tripping. Like they really be tripping. Like it was just saying something else, but I'm glad it's saying that I'm live. I do want to point out and say thank you to everyone that has shopped with me on my website. I am grateful for you guys. If you guys would like to shop with me, you guys can go ahead and shop with me. I do have all of the information down below. Also, if you would like to schedule a reading with me, you guys can go ahead and click the link below because I did leave a link so you guys can go ahead and shop and get readings from me. I've been doing readings all day. So I am kind of tired, but I did wanted to fulfill this agreement to go ahead and do this live for you guys. I do want to like wait a little bit to like some people come into live. Hi Zane James. But I just wanted to make sure that I got this live up. The topic is about finding self-love within. I know this is not an easy topic to actually dive into because I feel like self-love, like I don't know if self-love can be taught, but I do know that, Janae, I do know that self-love is something that you have to find within. So I did want to have this topic with you guys. Sorry, there's like sage everywhere. This is like too much. Okay. I did want to have this topic with you guys because I think it's extremely important because I do realize that sometimes when people are in relationships or just like any particular relationship, it doesn't have to be romantic. People tend to lose themselves sometimes. And I can admit that that has happened to me before. And I wanted to just talk about it a little bit deeper because people always tell you, to love yourself, and people always come back with a rebuttal like, I do love myself, but sis, like, do you really, really love yourself? Like, loving yourself and self-love, I feel like, are totally two different things. Self-love is something that comes within. Self-love is something that's not easily accessible within. It's something that you have to find within yourself. And I find that people always say, oh, I love myself, and it can either be like physically, like I love myself, like I love what I can provide physically or my body parts, But people tend to forget that self-love is just more of a physical thing. It's a spiritual thing. It's an emotional thing. It's something that it's hard to embody within. Um, I always get these questions when I'm doing readings for people, and they always ask me, like, how do I find self-love? Like, how? Hi, my mom. That's my mom. Hi, mom. People always ask me. Oh my God, my mom was in the chat. Okay, whatever. People always ask me, like, oh, when I'm doing readings for them, like, oh, how do I find self-love? Like, give me tips on how to find self-love. And I don't know how to find self-love because, this person or this person did me wrong. And I just feel like people find that it's hard to obtain. I don't know per se if there's any tips that I can give that can be able to help you find self love, but I can tell you a little bit of what I did to find self love. Um, I feel like I found self love when I had a breaking point. I feel like it was like a shift or like a spiritual awakening, I guess. But I feel like when you find self love, it's like when you hit your breaking point and it kind of ascends you spiritually into a different person, if that makes any sense. What I can say is that I am not the same person that I was last year, and thank you, Jesus, for that. But I feel like self love came. It kind of came for me when I was at a breaking point, and I feel like it kind of does hit you when you're at a breaking point. And it doesn't necessarily have to be with a romantic partner. It can be within a friendship. It can be with any type of relationship. But I do feel like it comes at a breaking point where you have to just spiritually, emotionally, and mentally just strip yourself from the mundane and the outside world, and you just have to dig deep within yourself. Um, it's finding self love for me is actually a spiritual awakening. Like, it's you digging deep and you finding parts about yourself that you don't necessarily like, but it's like you're learning to love yourself all over again, if that makes any sense. But I wanted to have this topic because it was highly requested, and I find that self love, it doesn't necessarily have to be a particular gender role, because I do feel like there's a lot of men and women that don't seem to understand what self love is or seem to have a grasp of what self love is. Um, they usually tend to think that self love is a feminine thing, but it's not necessarily a feminine thing. There's a lot of men that have insecurities and lack self love, and I feel like self love can come from a trauma. Um, yes, it comes from a trauma. That's what I believe. You don't have to agree with me, but I do believe that self-love comes with a particular trauma, whether it be you being insecure, whether you feeling like you're not good enough, with you feeling inadequate. Like, it comes from a particular source. Um, I always tell people this, and people always say, oh, you always tell me to do this. Like, does it really work? And I do feel like meditating does help you find self-love. With that meditation, it takes you into a different spiritual realm, and you can kind of see yourself in a particular different light. I always stress meditation, and people always think that I'm crazy, but I do stress meditation. Meditation is a great source of you finding yourself or you being one with yourself. Meditation is also a guide. I feel like people always say that, oh, I don't know how to meditate. Um, I find myself not having the attention span for the meditation. But I always tell people, like, in order for you to actually meditate and be in more of a peaceful state when trying to meditate, you have to literally shut off everything, like cell phones, laptops, just your train of thought. Everything needs to be in a complete stop. You have to be able to absolutely release all the things around you and be able to put your mind at ease. I do feel like people who do not meditate could sometimes feel like they don't know where to turn to. And I feel like meditation is a great source for people to actually find themselves, find that is like your particular safe space, and also it's also a great way for you to actually uh, have a one-on-one with yourself. I do believe that we're always in the hustle bustle of getting this money, or we're always um, trying to just achieve achievements in our lives and just being in a mundane state, and we tend to forget that we need to have time for ourselves. And I feel like, yes, there are such thing as self-care Sundays and all that great stuff, but I find that meditating is also it's a different form of self-care. Meditating is you actually just being one with yourself and being able to look at your flaws and being able to accept your flaws. And that's why people tend to not want to meditate, or people tend to feel like they can't meditate because their attention span is too short. I don't believe in that such thing. I do believe that anybody can meditate. And there are different forms of meditation. There's also guided meditation where you actually like plug in headphones and have a guided meditation or a soothing sound or someone actually guiding you through meditation. I really love that Janae Aiko came out with a self meditation playlist, I guess not a playlist, but a song that she came out with, and I do listen to that meditative song that she came out with, and I actually love that. I love Janae Aiko. I feel like me and her are like kindred spirits. Like she kind of just like gets me. Like Janae Aiko is dope. Like she is everything that I feel like I am. Like she's just an amazing artist, and I feel like I'm so happy that she actually came out with like something different than a lot of what artists are doing now, and came out with a meditative song, so others who are also in the spiritual realm that she embodies can actually get into it as well. She kind of put it on the map. It's hard for me to meditate because I have two little ones under the age of 2. People, I can understand that, but I feel like you have to find, like, just sitting in the car for 5 minutes before walking to work, that is a form of you just being one with yourself, and just it's like you're creating space for yourself. Like you're creating that personal space with yourself, and it's giving you the time to actually realize a lot of things. For me, when I meditate, I realize so many things about myself that I particularly would not pay attention to if I were just along the mundane world. I feel like meditating has kind of like shook me, kind of woke me a little bit to a lot of things that, well, I can say meditating has kind of just allowed me to be more aware of other people's emotions and other people's energies, because I feel like before I was not aware of that. I would be out and about and not even thinking of what the other person is going through and why are they acting that way. I would just be more of like what I'm going through, and that might be a sense of a selfish form of way of thinking, but I just feel like now I'm more aware of others and what they're going through and their energy and what they can be going through emotionally. And I was having this conversation with a friend, and she like, I was out and about, and she said that you look miserable. Like, why are you not having fun? And I'm just like, and I pulled her to the side, and I told her, I said, did you ever stop and think that I'm an empath and all of these energies is overwhelming for me? And she kind of just like stopped in her tracks and just went silent. And she was like, wow, like I never really thought of that. And I'm just like, yeah, like before you come to me and say, oh, like you're not having fun, or like get out of your funk, or just like try and have fun, like we're supposed to be having fun. Like, did you not think that maybe all of these energies is just making me uncomfortable? Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like before I would be in her place. looking at other people like, why are you not having fun? But now that I'm more aware of feelings and energies, I'm more on the opposite side of the spectrum where I'm just like, wow, there's a lot of energy here. Like, I want to go home. Like, I feel like I'm just, this is too much for me. And my friends have come to realize how I am now. They have, I guess, accepted that she's an empath, and if she's not having, looks like she's not having fun, it's not that she's not having fun. It's just like she's just aware of the energy. Like she's just well aware. And hi, hi, Sun Kissnik. She's just more aware, and she's not. It's not that she's not having fun. It's just like she's just being sent. Like, my friends come to know that now. Like, they've accepted it. They have been, hi, hi. They're more aware of it now. They don't give me flack about it, or they don't give me shit about it. They're just more well aware about it. Like, this is just how Sin is, and just she's not. There's nothing wrong with her. She's just taking it all in. Taking it all in. But yeah. So I know it's cliche when I say meditate, but meditating is a good form of getting to know yourself deeply and in a more emotional, mental state. Um, I know it's cliche. I know it's cliche. People will say, "Well, you always tell me to meditate." Yeah, but meditating works. Like, I feel like people are afraid to meditate because they're afraid to know themselves deeply. They're afraid to get to know themselves. Like when people say, "Do you know yourself?" Like, do you actually know yourself? Like, do you actually know yourself? And I feel like when I meditate, it just like gives me a chance for me to get deep within myself. It just, I'm creating a space for myself and only for for myself. I feel like when people like have all of these energy, like healing circles, stuff like that, like, you're creating space for other people. But when you meditate and you're by yourself and you're 5 minutes in that car, or you're just 5 minutes at home before you go out to work, it's like you're creating space for yourself. Meditate. Thank you. You know what? You know why my skin is so like like my skin is really nice. I drink a lot of water. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I drink so much water. Like, I love water. I love water. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you meditate, it's like you're getting to know yourself all over again. Because I feel like people, that's the problem with people. Like, they don't really know themselves. And that's why they don't know what they really want, because you don't really know you don't really know yourself. So if you don't know yourself, you don't know what you want. So you have to know yourself. Glowjous. Oh, that's a cool word, glowjous. That's so cute. Thank you. Girl, you have nice skin too. I'll be watching you on YouTube. But yeah, I feel like me meditating is creating a space for me and only for myself. And I know it's cliche, but I do feel like a form of self love is meditating. And I feel like once you allow yourself to create that space, you can kind of go deep within yourself, and you can actually get to know the things that you really don't like about yourself, get to know about the things that you really love about yourself, and you can start embracing the things that you love about yourself. If you figure out the things that you love about yourself, you'll be able to embrace those things. Like, and I find that people don't like to do that. Like, people don't want to know themselves deeply. They want to just stay asleep. Like, I don't want to stay asleep. Like, I actually want to know about myself. Like, I actually want to know what makes me tick. Like, why I don't like this certain type of thing. Like, why I don't like this type of certain thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I actually want to know myself. And people don't want to go deep within. I get it. It's scary. Like, nobody wants to go that deep. Yeah. Yeah, but I do see where the conflicting mindset is when it comes to actually meditating. Like, you have to meditate yourself, and I just feel like when you find self love, like, nobody can tell you shit. Like nobody can tell you who you are. I could walk into a room and nobody tell me who the fuck I am. I can walk into a room confidently and speak how I speak and be who I am without someone judging me, and even if they are judging me, I don't care. Like, I know who I am. Like, nobody can tell me who I am. Like, and I feel like when you walk into a relationship, you should have that mindset as well. I feel like when people get into relationships, they tend to lose their self-love because they feel like, well, I love this person, so that means I should give my all to that person. No, ma'am, you're not going to give your all to that one person. Like, you need to have enough for yourself. And I always tell people this, especially when people who come to me for readings and they're like, oh my God, like, he did this, like, how can he do this when I love him? Because he's putting himself first. And how can you blame someone who's putting themselves first? You can't really blame someone. They always tell you that when you get in a relationship, you should always, like, be that person for, like, be that one for that person and love that person to the end, and be there emotionally, be there mentally and physically. But you also have to put yourself first. And once you learn how to put yourself first, that's when you know you find yourself love. Because yes, you have to love somebody and you have to be there for them, but you also have to understand that you have to keep some for yourself. Um, Trust me, it took me some time. It took me some time, but I got it down pat. Like, nobody can, like, come into my life and just change everything that I have going on with right now. I cannot be an empty cup. Yeah, I can't be an empty cup and keep pouring into you and have nothing left for myself. Like, I need to say something for myself. That is a form of self-love. Being selfish to know that you need to keep some for yourself is a form of self-love. And people who have kids, like, I understand that you have to love your children and be there for your children and be all the, and, like, just love your kids and just be all there for them. But you have to also understand, like, if you're not good and well and spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally okay, how can you give that to your children? How can you give that to your husband? How can you give that to your boyfriend? An empty cup of thing left to pour. Definitely get your drink first. Exactly. Like, and it took me a while to understand that, or to actually, like, walk in that path. But now I understand that in order for me to even be emotionally, spiritually, physically, or mentally okay for someone else, I have to be okay for myself. I have to be okay first. And, like, I don't know if you guys realize this, but when you guys get on the plane, they always ask you to take care of yourself first and then help the person next to you. Because if I'm too busy helping you, we all gonna die. Like, I need to take care of myself first. You cannot love someone else until you love yourself. Exactly. That's my mama, y'all. That's my mom, y'all. Yeah, and I totally agree. Like, I have to be able to be there for myself first, like, pour into me first, like, love myself first in order for me to even give you anything of me. And people tend to forget that. And that is a part of self-love. Once you finally understand that, like, when you finally, like, wholeheartedly, like, walk in that path, like, you feel it in your bones that this is, like, that's the motto, and that's how I'm gonna live for the rest of my life. You cannot be fucked with. Like, you cannot be fucked with, because people always tend to give others more than they give themselves. They always do, and that's, to me, is not a, that to me is like you're not loving yourself enough. Like, you're not loving yourself enough. Yo, that's my mama. My mama's in the chat. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you do have to learn the hard way for you to just maneuver on through life. Like, I had to learn the hard way too. Like, once you've been through that type of situation, you can be able to, like, be within, sit in those emotions, and then realize, like, how can I go about the situation a different way? Yeah, like, once you realize it, then you can be able to you can handle situations a lot more differently. And I feel like if I were to get in the next relationship, like, I would do things totally different than how I did in my last relationship. I would be a lot more selfish, a whole lot more selfish. Like, because people, not all people, I'm not gonna say that, not all people, but people are selfish. Like, They're going to take and take and take. If they know that you're a type of person that's always going to give, that you're always going to give, you're always going to be overly supportive, you're always going to be overly loving and overly, um, and just selfless, they're going to take. They're going to keep sucking the life out of you because they know that you're going to give them whatever they want. But once you cut that cord and you cut doing that, it's kind of like, to them it's kind of just like, how dare you? But really, I'm trying to be enough for myself. And I don't care if you have that mentality of how dare you. I gotta eat. Like, I gotta eat. Yes. Takers will take, they will keep taking from you because they know that you're gonna be selfless. That's why I always tell people who are empaths that they attract narcissists. People who are empaths, people who are selfless, they attract narcissists because narcissists look at them and be like, look, this person's gonna give me what I want, so I'm going to go after that person. I had to change my mentality. Like, I'm not gonna be selfless, I'm gonna be selfish. I cannot keep giving to you and then you not give me nothing back in return. That's why I always tell healers or empaths or people that are selfless, like, you will attract narcissists. Like, you attract people who will take from you. And if, because when I was in the moment, I didn't realize it. It was not until after I got out of it I realized that. But now that I realize that, I know that going into my next relationship or next whatever, I will know better now. Like, I would, my mind would instantly click and be like, Cynthia, stop. Let's overanalyze the situation and let's see what we're doing wrong. Mommy, you're right. They need to level up. Y'all, my mom is in this chat preaching. Y'all better y'all better listen to her. Y'all better listen to her. Hey, Britt. It's true, like, and I feel like the person that you're supposed to be with was not going to do those type of things to you. Like, they will not be so selfish. Like, they will know that you're selfless, but they would add, you know, they will add to your growth. They will add to your growth. Like, someone who loves you, like truly loves you, is going to add to your growth. They're not going to just take from you. They're going to add to the table. They're going to bring something to the table. Yeah, they're gonna add to the table. They're gonna bring to the table because, like, this is how I feel. Like, I need to eat. Like, and if I don't have enough for me, I won't be able to eat. Like, you need to bring something to the table too, because I already know what I could bring to the table because I know myself through meditation. I got that through meditation. I know myself. So if I come to the table and I see that you're not bringing nothing to the table, how we gonna eat? How we gonna eat? Like, you know what I mean? It makes no sense. Like, we both gotta bring something to the table so that we could be able to eat. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like people lose themselves. That's why you always have to catch yourself. You always have to. I'm not saying be over analytical, but you need to. Yes, I am the table. Yes, ma'am. Like, you have to be able to not be over analytical, but you have to overanalyze your situation sometimes because you have to be able to catch yourself when you're slipping. Because if you could catch yourself when you're slipping and not have anybody else do it, that's growth. That's growth. When you could catch yourself slipping and nobody else could catch you slipping, that's growth. Well, it's just different because some people like to meditate through guided meditation, and some people could just because to me, I can meditate and, like, within 5 minutes I'm already knocked out. Like, I can meditate. Like, I know how to, like, get calm my mind and get myself into that meditative state. But some people have guided meditation, or they can do, like, audiobooks, or they do, like, healing music. It all depends. But yes, I totally agree, Miss Creed. I totally agree. Like, I feel like it's not okay. It's not that the next time I would go into my relationship logically, but I would take my mind with me. I would take my mind with me. Because you guys don't understand, like, once you get in a relationship, it's emotional. It's like you're leading with your heart. I feel like in my next relationship, I'm not leading with my heart. Like, I'm not. Like, I need to. It's like it's not. I'm not saying that I'll play chess, but I would be able to catch myself. I'll be able to catch myself next time. Like, I would not be able to just allow someone to just come into my life and just like hit me like a tsunami and just take like, you know what I mean? Just like hit me like a tsunami and just like cause destruction in my life. I wouldn't, I know for a fact in the relationship I get into, like, that's not going to happen. I'll be a lot more able to, like, I'll be able to handle a lot more of the situations that come to me. And that's all through just me knowing myself. Like, just like maneuvering in different relationships that I had in the past, I learned so much. Like, Cynthia, like, when I overanalyze myself, like, you shouldn't have done this, you should have did this, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that I would have done differently, but unfortunately, you can't go back into to time and fix things and just do things a different way. You just have to learn the next time it comes your way. Like, now you know better. Now I have the tools to navigate. Maybe I should do a video on how to meditate. Because you're like the third person that asked me, like, how do I meditate? Maybe I should do a video on that. I'm going to work on that for y'all. I have like 2 videos that I have not put on my channel. And I've been procrastinating. But I told myself tomorrow I'm going to get it done and I'm going to have them posted. I often find most often I track who I was at the time. Exactly. Like, you're totally right. Because it's like, you are what you attract. You are what you attract. And if you're in a depressive, energetic state, you're going to attract a narcissist. Like, you're going to attract someone that's going to be able to feed off your energy. You have to be in a space in your life where your energy or your frequency is vibrating at an all-time high for you to be able to attract that type of man, woman, or friendship into your life. And for me, like, for me, I need to be with someone that can keep up with me intellectually and spiritually. Like, fuck all the attractiveness. Like, I can always be with a man that's attractive, but can he keep up with me intellectually and spiritually? Like, that's my biggest right now in my life. Right now in my life, I need someone that's gonna keep up with me intellectually. I need somebody that's gonna keep up with me spiritually. I can be with a man that's attractive. That's easy. Like, have you seen all of this? Like, come on now. I'm not trying to be conceited. I'm confident. And I feel like I need to be with someone that exudes the same qualities. We should open up a healing church for real, Britt. That's so funny. You know what I mean? Like, I need someone that can keep up with me intellectually and spiritually, because I am what I attract. And if I exude that, I can be able to attract that. And that's this form of manifestation. You can manifest someone like that. If you manifest a man that can keep up with you like that, or a man who can give you the things that you want, someone that's going to bring something to the table like you can manifest that person easily. You just have to exude it. And once you exude what you want will attract, and it will come into your life. That's a power of manifestation. That is a power of manifestation. You have to breathe, touch, feel, and envision that person. Brittany. Bye, honey. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here real quick and like have a conversation with you guys, because I feel like this is this is a healthy discussion that I feel like it's needed on here on YouTube. And here on YouTube, it's hard to relate to certain people about this topic because we all have different paths and we have walked different like paths in our lifetimes, and I feel like this topic was needed, and I'm happy that everybody got to be able to come into the chat and be able to like basically get a little 2 cents, because I do feel like it does help other people in the chat when we have like people adding their 2 cents in. I do want to do more lives like this. You guys seem to like these lives more than when I'm posting, because you guys are able to interact with me, and which I love. I love to interact with you guys on here, and I will continue to keep doing these lives because you guys do love them. And if you guys do want to shop with me, don't forget the links are below. The links are below. So you guys can shop with me, or you guys can get a reading with me. And then you guys can also follow me on Instagram down below. My mom, I swear, she is a mess, okay? You guys, she's a mess. But, thank you. Thank you so much, Venus. But, I should do a video on manifesting because I feel like that would be a great topic for the next live. But I do, if you guys have any questions, like you guys can hit me up or DM me. I open all my DMs. I read all my DMs on Instagram, so you guys can go ahead and DM me. But I feel like this is a healthy conversation about, an initial to how to find self-love. I stress the meditation. You guys, this is what helped me, so hopefully it can help you. Brittany, we'll talk in the car because I'm about to meet you in like 20 minutes. After I'm done here, I'm gonna go to your house across the street. But yeah, like I stress the meditation. I stress you actually going deep within yourself and actually finding yourself. I also stress with getting to know yourself. I know it's scary because people do not want to understand themselves in such a deep level, but I stress it because once you find yourself on an emotional, spiritual, deep level, it'll propel you into exactly who you want to be, and also propel you into things that you need in your life. Once you find that, it propels you into having different people as well in your life, because being on this path, you will not have the same friends. Like, people who are not meant to be on your path or in your life will fall off, because those are people who are dead weight. And the people who are meant to be in your life will stay in your life. They'll be on your path. I feel like a lot of people are afraid to go deep within, because that once they go deep within and they start to change internally and emotionally and spiritually, that they won't be able to relate to the people that were in their lives as friends, lovers, family members. But you need to understand that those people were not supposed to be on your path. Like, I've lost so many friends, and I will always love them, and I keep up with them on Instagram, social media. I mean, granted, we might not talk as much as we should, but they're not meant to be on my path, and I've accepted that. And I feel like people are afraid of losing friends or losing family members or losing relationships because those are what they're used to. That's their comfort zone. You need to get out of your comfort zone. Like, once you find out who you truly are within, you start to change within, and people who are not meant to be on your path will leave. And you have to be okay with that. You need to understand that people will leave you. Like, you have no control if someone leaves you or not. You have no type of control over that. Yes. Yes, you will lose friends. You will lose lovers. Like, you will lose people, but those are people who are not supposed to be in your life. Like, yeah, self-respect, mommy. Self-respect. And that's the thing. Like, I'm okay with people leaving my life, because yes, in this lifetime, we're not meant to walk this path because you're still in a mundane kind of way of thinking, and I'm more on a spiritual way of thinking. But maybe in the next lifetime you'll be woke and we could walk the same path. So I don't see it as I'm losing them. I see it as in maybe we'll be in the next lifetime together. I did a video on how to let go. It's on my channel, Britt. Like, my mindset has completely shifted, and if you're not aligned with that mentality, or you know what I mean, or spiritually or emotionally, it's okay. Like, maybe and I always say, and I always stress this, not everybody on this, well, let's just say this, not everybody in this lifetime is supposed to be woke. Not everybody in this lifetime is supposed to be woke. Some people are meant to be asleep because it keeps the universe flowing. Like, we're all not supposed to be woke. Like, we're all supposed to be woke and find ourselves in different lifetimes and in different times and different paths. Like, just because I'm woke and I'm with someone that's not woke doesn't mean that I have to be with that person, or I have to baby that person into being woke. Because sometimes people will be in relationships where they're woke and their partner's not woke, and they feel like it's their mission to make that person be woke. You can't force somebody to be woke. You can't. You cannot force somebody to be woke because you love them and you want them to be on the same spiritual, emotional, and mental mindset as you. Like, you can't do that. You have to let that person walk their life. You cannot rob somebody of their path. And I stress this. I stressed this in the last live. I'm getting passionate. I stressed this in the last live, and I'm going to stress it in this life. You cannot rob somebody of their spiritual growth. You cannot rob them of that. You have to let them find themselves. I stress this so much. Like, you cannot rob somebody of their spiritual growth. You have to let that person find themselves. You have to let that person go through their shifts. You have to let that person go through all of the energetic attacks, all of the energetic ascensions. Like, you have to let somebody grow. You can't rob them of that. Like, you cannot, and you can't force them into that. You cannot force a partner into being emotionally, physically, mentally. Like, you can't make them woke. Like, you have to let them live their life, and they have to go through an experience where the universe pushes them to be spiritually aligned. Like, you cannot force that. A lot of y'all be forcing that. Like, let's be real. Like, let's have a conversation. Let's be real. A lot of y'all do that. A lot of y'all will be in a relationship with somebody and force them into to being woke, or like to spiritually ascend. You can't do that. You cannot do that. That's not their path. Sometimes in this lifetime, they're not meant to be woke. Maybe the next lifetime, but this lifetime, they're not meant to be woke. And if they do, and if they are supposed to be woke in this lifetime, do not push the progression. Do not push that growth. Like, you're being selfish. You're being selfish. Just stop. Stop. Stop, stop, stop. But I love you guys. I feel like this was a healthy discussion. If you feel like this live will help somebody, please share this live. Also, if you guys want a reading, it's down below. If you guys want to buy from my shop, it's down below. My Instagrams, my business, and my personal will be down below. I love y'all so much, and I will see you guys in my next live.